Welcome back, and we're about to have the resumption of this game here this afternoon at the Park Hill playing field. We had an interruption due to rain. Joel, I don't know if you have any information as to if there's going to be any reduction in the overs?
Absolutely none so far.
So the Volcanoes, they will continue. There are 118 for the loss of 5. And the Nepal team, they're back in the middle.
Well, from all information, Eddie, there are no reductions in the over, so we'll have the regular 20 overs.
Once there are no further interruptions. So Karan will continue his over.
$118 for 5.
Here comes Karan now, balls to Douglas. Douglas hugs. Well, this one peeled off the top edge of the bat, and that's 6 runs.
Well, he was shaping to go up, and Karan was short, and he got underneath it, got a top edge. I think the intention was there. Didn't cue it well, but he got the result that he wanted, and that went sailing.
124 for 5. So the Windward Island Volcanoes immediately off to a good start following the resumption.
So 124 first delivery after the resumption went for 6.
This one is nudged into that short third man position.
And he was disappointed in himself.
Yes.
Should have done better. That was steered right to the man at backward point.
So it's 124 for 5 after the 15th over. We have 30 more balls to go in this, the Windward Islands innings. And there we see both batters in the middle, Dylan Douglas and Chadwick Descarte, having a mid-pitch saying, well, maybe it's time for us to have a go.
To push things on. So Douglas is on 47, Descarte, he's on 12. 6 overs remaining. And these two would really want to push things further on for Windward Island Volcanoes. It's going to be Bertel to continue. So far, he has done a pretty good job.
Without a doubt, he's had 2 very good overs thus far. And it seems as if the rain we had in the outfield was more or less soaked up because we've had very, very dry conditions over the last 5 weeks into this delivery. Descarte punches down the lawn, one bounce into the fence, into the road behind us. That's 4 runs.
That was hit with some power, and it flew past the man at long on, and across the ropes it went for 4. So he goes on to 16, 128. You would need to see a few more of that.
Well, these two showing their early intent as we have a resumption of this game into around 20 minutes thereabouts due to rain. And since the resumption, there is an uptick in the scoring rate. Bertel. And ball a little wet in hand. It might be the need for the towel at some point in time to try and keep that ball as dry as possible. And this certainly can be a problem, especially for the spinners.
Yeah, but the leg spinner, and that's what Bertel, a leg spinner, is a bit difficult for him.
Comes into Descarte. Descarte hits this one high. And there was Long on trying to get there, but doing so no vain. 6 more runs.
Well, it's Karan on the boundary. He's a diminutive individual, not the tallest of the lot. And he was jumping for all his worth, but that cleared him. And it went over the ropes for 6. So business, these two, but there's still that light drizzle around.
So I guess they're trying to, if there's another rain interruption, to put as much as possible on the board. 134 for 5 in this, the 15th. Pressure on Bertel as he comes in now. The ball to Descarte. And Descarte hits this one high, way over just the roof here at the pavilion, the main pavilion.
I think that is some adjacent lands cultivated on the outside, and that landed somewhere in that area. And really a good clean strike there by Descarte, who is showing his intent. And we mentioned that he has that bit the ball a long way. and that was a good demonstration of what it means. Pressure on Bertil. I think the first 3 deliveries have gone for 16.
So, as I said, the intention of the Windward Island batters as they came back into the middle is to try and push on and put as many runs as possible on the board should there be another interruption. There's no threat of rain, but we can see some out to that northeastern area.
Well, we have a faint, some sunshine, not the brightest really.
Bertel again to Descartes outside the off stump, and that signal wide. And umpire Butler.
Bertel being pushed under the pumps. He decided, I'm going to pitch it a bit wider. I'm not going close to Descartes at all.
As you say here locally,
I think he went too wide.
Yes, looking to hide the ball. Bertel against the Descartes, and outside the off stump, punched into the onside, down to that deep backward point position, and one more resulting. It's now 142 for the loss of 5. 142 for 5.
And we're in over number 15.
So Dylan Douglas, he's on 47, and get over that 50 mark and press on here for the Windward Islands Volcanoes.
Had a 50 in the first game, and so he has had a good series, if you can say that.
Oh, it is. And the delivery he punches into the offside. Karan comes in, and one more to Dylan Douglas, one more to the Windward Island Volcanoes. Now 143 for the loss of 5. As Bertel will bowl now, this is final delivery in over number 15. Opening batter for Nepal, and he's had some good knocks in the series thus far. This time to Descartes, and outside the off stump, and he had to for that one.
He chased it, didn't get the placement that he wanted. In the end, just tugged it to the extra cover fielder. So over number 15 comes to an end, 143 for 5, and Douglas is on 48. Shadrach Descartes, and 5 legitimate overs remaining in the Windward Island Volcano innings. Any predictions in terms of what sort of total you think they can muster at this time?
Well, at 10 runs per over, they're going to get over the 190 mark, and that's a total I believe Captain Miller's for this afternoon. They did 196 in the first game and had Nepal under immense pressure, and then of course remember Irie and Sompal just simply took it away.
Definitely. And the second game total up to 170 odd, 179. They got 180.
And the Windward Island Volcanoes, after a good start, just fell like dominoes.
So Sompal comes back into the attack.
And Sompal, of course, along with Irie, who's not in this game, had a good knock, and this one is pushed up to that mid-wicket position, and a bit of misfeeling there. And there you
well,
see
that's
again
what pressure does. Again, the misfield. Dylan Douglas, he was running, he was looking for the second. That's his 50, and he forced the fielder. He looked up, took his eyes off the ball, bubbled it, and Douglas was back easily for the second run.
Well, Douglas, he scored an even 50 in the first innings, in the first game, I should say, and then he lost his wickets. Let's do hope that such is not the case. He's exactly in 50 once again, and with some 29 balls remaining, he really want to press on here for the Windward Islands. Delivery that he was looking to scoop, and got just the bottom edge. As he's looking at it, he ran a single there, but maybe just a little lucky there, Dylan Douglas. So 145 for the loss of 5 with an Island Volcanoes. Douglas is on to 51. And Descartes, he's not out on 29. 146 for 5. As a Sompal.
So Douglas 50 coming in, 28 balls, some 3 4s and 4 6s.
Great. Very good strike rate there on the part of Douglas. Faces up now to Sompal outside the off stump and just works it into the offside. picked up there by Asif, who's known more for his wicket keeping on the outfield today, based on the fact that there was an injury to Irie. And now 2 wicket keepers in this Nepal squad as they prepare for the T20 World Cup 2024. So there's Asif getting a bit of a experience as far as the outfield is concerned, Charlo.
Yeah, sure, he's enjoying it.
He's on that deep long offense as here comes Sampal to bowl to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas pulls nicely, 1 bounce into that final boundary, 4 runs.
Douglas got into position and he really played it well. Away from just every fielder, there was a man on the long boundary, and he just swiveled and down to wide fine leg and into the fence for 4. So the 150 comes up after 15.4 over. Douglas, he goes on to 55.
You really want to push on here, and with good support coming from Shadrach Descati, who's not done 30. The Volcanoes in the 16th over well set, of course, to get close to that 190 mark, as here comes Sampal to bowl to Dylan Douglas. And this one he works into that short third man position, picked up there, 1 more run in the process, 153 for the loss of 5.
I think Sampal a bit disappointed. He was looking for the Yorker, but it was outside the awesome, and Douglas came down, opened the face of the bat, ran it down to backward point, and he went through for a single. And you can see the disappointment in Sampal, as clapping his hands as if he's saying, that's not what I wanted.
152 correction to score. Dylan Douglas now out on 56. Descartes now will face up to the final delivery of this, the 16th over, as most pass umpire Bayern, and a delivery that he hits straight back over the head of the bowler. Fine shot, couple bounces.
Sweetly played, bisecting the long off and long on. You don't feel as if, and it was deliberately hit over the head of the bowler and into the fence. It went for 4. So 60 on the card at the under 4 for number 16. Some 24 deliveries to go, and Descartes, he goes on to 34. Sure, they will be having their eyes on 200.
Well, at 160 for 5 after 16, exactly 10 runs per over, with another 4 overs to go. If they can maintain that 10 runs per over, it's 200 on the board.
I'm sure they have their eyes on that. So let's see. And it's Airy who comes back into the attack. He has had some early success. So he has 2 scalps, and now he's coming back in the 17th over. Padella ringing the changes. And it's going to be Douglas who is on strike under cool conditions. And Douglas is quite ready, but I don't think yeah.
Douglas pulls over mid-wickets, and he might very well be caught second. And a bit of disappointment there for Dylan Douglas, gone for 56. And of course, a very important wicket there for Nepal.
A very important wicket, but an observation here, Eddie, is that for every over that Airy comes in, he picks up a wicket.
On the first ball.
I think the very first over, I think he picked up a wicket in the second delivery. The second sped in the first ball, and here it is for the third over. He got it in the first ball again. So he has made that early impact for Nepal, and Douglas very disappointed as he really dragged himself off the field. But he goes for a well played 56, 156 for 6, and we could see Javadine Brong making his way out to do battle. He's one of the many Brongs playing local, and he can hit the ball a long way. Pretty strong lad from the Ovia area, north of the country. And he joins Shadrach Descartes, who is on 30. So Brong, immediately he would be on strike.
Dean Brown faces up and gets one right up, but he does well. Punches into the onside. Long on comes off the fence. He's off the mark. It's 157 for 6.
Well, 157 for 6. And Descartes comes back into strike. He has been there for quite some time. Charge here for Windward Island Volcanoes.
And certainly he has shown without a doubt that he has that ability, Shadrach Descartes, to face now to Irie, who's taken up what, 3 wickets?
3 wickets so far.
And Irie, almost a 30-meter run, comes in now to Boltish and walked nicely into that square leg position. Asif comes off the backward square leg fence, and he should have been the one receiving in the glove, but tosses it back into the gloves of Anil.
Well, you can see he's enjoying his field, the outfield for a change. Combination, and you can see the fielders changing over, so too the umpire. Javidine Brown comes back into strike. 158 for 6. Discarded 35, Brown on 1.
Here is Irie, and Dean Brown to this delivery, works it fine, and player position picking it up. One more added, 159 now for the loss of 6. And just having a look at the fingers there of Irie, not on screen, sorry, of Asif, who's on the fence there. They're heavily strapped, and maybe an opportunity to rest them.
Well, certainly, and well, I think sometimes it has become a common practice now that players tend to put tape on their fingers more for protection.
And wrapped on the pad, a loud appeal. Nothing there from umpire Butler. The scamper through for a single, and one more to the Windward Islands total in this, the 16th over.
I think he got an inside edge into that because he was looking to whip it on the onside.
160 for 6. So after that onslaught from the previous over, he's pulled things back here.
Very nicely as well for Nepal.
So the breeze have picked up a bit here, and hit in the air, and Karan is getting under it and takes a very easy catch. That's the 7th wicket gone, and Dean Brown going for 2, 160.
Well, it was a short delivery, and he was looking to slap that, taking the top of the bat. There it is, short and really about shoulder height, looking to slap it somewhere. Got a top edge. Karan had short extra cover, had a very comfortable catch, didn't have to do much, and the Windward Island Volcano losing their 7th.
They're certainly losing their way. You know, since the resumption, I've had Dylan Douglas and Descartes taking the attack to the bowlers, but since then, of course, they've lost Dylan Douglas, and now we see Dean Brown making his way back to 4 wickets. But very importantly, of course, pegging the Windward Island, and from a situation where they were eyeing a possible 200, it might very well be 180, 185 if they can get that far.
Yeah, so Asif Hooper, the left hand, goes out to join Descartes, who is also a left-hander. And start changing bowling at the far end. We see Practice comes back into the attack.
So Practice this time to bowl to Descartes, and outside the off stump, and he cracks it square the wicket. 4 well taken runs there off the bat of Descartes.
That's a bread and butter shot for a left-hander. Short, wide, and he hot. That's the strength of a left-hander. And into the fence it goes for 4 at 164 now for 7. Boundary, I think Descartes would move on to at least 40.
164 for 7. And Practice, of course, will continue. But it's actually Gulshan from the northern end.
Yes, Gulshan.
So we're having some changes in the field here. We're trying to find Captain Podell as to exactly he's stationed. That's quite a lot being done. But here comes Gulshan now. And this delivery is wide out. Descartes was thinking about pushing a bat at it, but even if he had done so, I doubt he would have gotten any bat under that one.
He was shaping and he just watched it go by that wide, and umpire up front by him very early. I was signaling wide. So additionally, he has to reload and come again. 165 now for 7. Asif Hooper yet to face a delivery. Not has really had the best of series in terms of the bat. Has some 2 overs remaining after this chance to really settle.
Discarded to this and missing outside the off stump. And pulls away with a bit of a wry smile. And now, as you saw in the background, they're looking to replay that shot that he possibly should have played in the first instance. Total remains at 165 for the loss of 7. As we hear, spell out some instructions to Descartes. This delivery. It's up in the air and one bounce. Fielder comes around, stopped it in the process, and one more added. But I believe he was just a little lucky there.
Well, he got a top edge, and he just lobbed more or less, and dropping well short of a backward point. And the sweeper at a wide-toed man was able to come around, cover grounds, and into the and 3 runs.
So Gulshan will continue after there's a bit of a mopping up of the ball. Will turn now. There you see the playing that short fine line going right back on the fence. And Gulshan will continue. This time to Asif Hooper. Hooper Posley and beats the fielder on bounce. 4 more runs. He's off the mark. It's
in style.
170.
In style.
Certainly.
Short of a length into the hip, and he just pivoted and down to deep backward square, to the left of deep backward square, who couldn't cut it off, and it went across the ropes for 4. So 170 for 7. I think there's still a delivery or 2 in this over.
Still 2 deliveries to go. So, seen deliveries left in this inning, so the Winning Island Volcanoes. They're 170 for 7. And I should very much still be eyeing that 200-run target. Gulshan. And Hooper was looking to work that like that backward square leg position, but got it wide down the leg side signal there when he bat onto the ball, and 1 more added to the total, 1 more to be bowled by Gulshan, so it's 171 for 7. And Hooper wrapped in the pad. There's a loud appeal from the bowler, but Bam not interested. Process picking up a single. That's the end of over number 18. So 170
leg by
for 7.
signal. I think
Yes.
there's still a legal delivery remaining, because I think there was a wide. So there's still a delivery remaining in the over.
So I guess our scorer not being as attentive as ought to be, misguiding me on the screen, but such is life. There's that on final delivery coming in bowl to Descartes, and wide outside the off stump, another wide.
Another wide signal, so he will have to bowl that again. Total now on to 173.
173 for 7. Gulshan.
Seems as if the pressure is taking its toll on Gulshan.
Well, let's hope he can wrap the over now with this illegal delivery and driven.
Answer no ball.
Well, is he going to ever finish this over? And well, the opportunity to run out the batter there in Descartes, and the wicketkeeper dropping the ball in the process. It's certainly a comedy of errors out there.
It's total comedy of errors, and I think it was pretty suicidal on the part of Descartes coming back for that second, but the keeper really done well. Descartes should have been out by miles, dropping his bat in the process, diving full length in, and then the keeper tumbling over the batter, really looking a bit comical.
Certainly. So waiting for this over to be completed, and a bit of attention being given there to Descartes. The physio's out for the Windward Island Volcanoes. She will now return, and this is something we see creeping into West Indies cricket. A lot of females are being given the opportunity to perform the duty as physio. We saw it, of course, with the St. Kitts Nevis franchise. As a matter of fact, it appears if the entire medical staff were all female.
Well, there's certainly there's performing the roles, separation.
So this has been a very long 18th over.
And it's good to see females are now taking up what was traditionally that male role, and we have seen industry.
Gulshan goes to Descartes. Descartes hits this one high, over, long off, and posed a bit there for the camera. Lovely shot off the bat of Descartes.
Well, it was in the slot, and he just lifted it. And that he is saying, yeah, that's what I want, right in the slot, and he just lift over wide, long off for 6. And the total now 181. That's the completion of over number 18.
Finally, I believe it was a 10-ball over.
Well, it was a pretty long over indeed.
Some 3 wides and a no ball.
And 18 overs, 2 overs remaining. Descartes, he's now 149. 9.5 century. Asif Hooper is with him, he's on. And they have that long mid-wicket conference saying perhaps strategize, deal with the last 2 overs.
Well, 12 balls remaining, 19 more will get them up to 200. They will certainly want to push over these two, Hooper and Descartes. Both, of course, they know how to bludgeon, if I can say this cricket ball. And the Nepali will want to ensure that they restrict these two here in this the 8th wicket partnership for the Windward Island Volcanoes as Irie,
who has 4 wickets under his belt. Final over, I'm sure he's eyeing that 5 wicket, as we would say, a 5-er.
Well, let's see if he can make some damage here as Asif Hooper repairs. Hooper just pulls it into that backward square leg position. There comes Asif off the fence with a beautiful return into the glove of the wicketkeeper. So he's really and truly doing some fine work there in that backward square leg position.
Yes, he's doing some work, and 2 runs to Hooper, who goes up to 6, the total now 184. And sure, Airy would fancy himself picking up a 5.
He has 5 more deliveries in which he can possibly do it. 184 for 7. Hooper at the end there will have different thoughts. And Hooper this time goes fine, and Asif couldn't get there this time around. Well taken there off the bat of Asif Hooper.
Well, Asif Hooper, and there's Asif in the outfield, but Asif just couldn't cut that one off, and it passed him like a bullet and into the fence for 4. So Hooper now into double figures, and the total now rushes on to 188.
So the 200 looks pretty on the cards for the Volcanoes. They're 188 for 7, and this is the 19th over, with still some 10 legal deliveries to come. And Irie, who has certainly had a good day with the ball, picking up some 4 wickets, coming on for a little bit of assault in this is final over. As he comes in now to bowl to Asif Hooper, pulls, and will only get 1 as Karan is in that deep mid-wicket boundary.
And immediately we can see Hooper looking at the bottom of his and not timing it. Really hit the bottom of the bat and just lobbed out a deep mid-wicket area, and he got a single.
189 for 7. And there you see Bertel doing a little bit of mopping up with that white handkerchief. And I will now move in now, this time to bowl to Descartes. Descartes and
he clears the ropes.
Wow. 6 runs there to Descartes. So 189 for 7. And there we see Captain Padel coming over just to have a chat with his bowler. And just 2 more deliveries remaining. It's 195 for 7. So the Windward Island Volcanoes might very well be scoring the largest total in this tournament thus.
So Descartes 50 off 25 deliveries, 4 fours and 5 sixes.
So Irie
Nice.
comes in now to bowl to Descartes. He's walking into that one and wrapped on the pad. Gets a single in the process. I believe it's going to be a leg bye. It is being signaled a leg bye. 196 for the loss of 7, and they equal the top score thus far for the series.
Definitely, so good comeback on the part of the Windwards, and definitely 200 is really on the card. Some 7 deliveries remaining, 196 for 7. I'm sure they would fancy themselves getting up to at least 210.
Well, Irie turns here at the top of his mark, and will probably try to make amends this time to Asif Hooper. And Hooper hikes this one way over the deep backward square leg fence for 6. Well taken. And the 200 is up on the board at the loss of 7.
Well, certainly a very productive over indeed on the part of the Windward Islands. Airy, who had 3 good overs, picking up some 4 wickets, really was taken to the cleaners in this last over. And both Asif Hooper and Shadrach Descartes enjoying themselves. Descartes bringing up his 50 off 25 deliveries, 4 fours, 5 sixes. Asif Hooper joining the party, 6 and 2 fours.
So with 1 over to go, 6 balls remaining. We think these 2 out there will probably like to push on to a 215, possibly. You never know, up to a 220.
Well, certainly.
Well, it's going to be some part of his.
Yes, Sample to bowl the final over.
And there we see Hooper and Descartes having a mid-wicket chat, and Hooper saying, well, let's go, mate. That's the final over, the bowler, I should say, with Sampal. And there's an aerial view as you notice that the sunshine is back with us here, as you see those shadows. And here comes Sampal, first delivery of the final over. And Descartes hikes this one. He's possibly going to be out caught. He is out caught. And there goes wicket number 8. So immediately striking in this the 20th hole.
Looking at the bottom of his bat, that coming off the bottom of the bat, played a good hand, and really put helped Windward Island Volcanoes to put a decent total on the board. They are now 202 for 8, and really he could be satisfied with his job. 55, 26 deliveries, 4 fours, 5 sixes. Really would have done it for Windwards in terms of getting over 200.
Certainly. And he heads back to the dressing room. That's
a bit disappointed in himself.
Yes.
And we see Larry.
Well, Edwards will take strike. And he also, if given the opportunity, can hit it. And hit it a long way, Larry Edwards. He's known more for his off spin more than anything else. But Sampal will stretch it in the first ball of this 20th over. Ensure that things are kept very much that way for Nepal. Comes in now to bowl to Larry Edwards. Edwards punches it into the offside. Mid-off comes in. And it's good. Good play there from Edwards, immediately getting Hooper, who's the in-batsman, to take the strike.
And that's very sensible on the part of Larry Edwards. So Asif Hooper comes back in to show he will be fancying himself and clearing the boundaries on a few occasions, but Sample would have other ideas.
203 for 8, 4 deliveries left. This one is hit all around, and is he going to take it? Does so. And if it's one thing with this Nepal team, they have not dropped a catch.
They have done a lot of catching practice from what we have seen earlier, and they are taking their catches. Their ground fielding is what really creating the problem, and we can see. So that's the ninth wicket, 203 for 9, as I think is what? Redhead making his way out in the middle.
There goes Asif Hooper making way for Redhead. And with 3 deliveries to go, the 200-run mark. But Parker is of such that if you don't bowl properly, you will certainly be finding yourself going over the ropes pretty often.
So some 3 deliveries remaining in this 20. Can Redhead survive?
A delivery that he has to pull out of. And it in the pitch there by Sompal. And Redhead certainly going to
One of the things Sampal must remember that fast bowlers have very good memories. And Redhead being a fast bowler himself would push that in the back of the head, so to speak.
Patrick Patterson, remember what happened back in the 80s there in Bridgetown Bob as this delivery, Redhead looking to work it off the hip, didn't get back to ball, it's wide down the leg side.
Signal by umpire Byam.
But the story is that Patrick Patterson was bounced, I believe, by one of the Australians. And the immediate dressing room, the